I don't know when we started calling passive income passive income. I remember when I was in college talking a lot about residual income, where we were going to put money in and it was going to earn a dividend. We'd make jokes like, oh, I want to put $1 million like in the stock market and just live off the dividends. Even at a very young age, we really understood that it took money to be able to invest to make money off of that money. And somewhere along the line, when I took a few years off to build a small business, to raise a bunch of kids, I came back after failing at the stock market for many years and kind of giving up for a while, and then deciding that I wanted to become a real estate investor, and the term passive income was what was floating around. I remember doing a job interview in college, they asked me why I wanted to work there. It was a door-to-door sales position. And so he was asking me why I was interviewing for this tough job. And I said, because it makes pretty good money and I want to be able to make more money than I need to pay my tuition and pay my housing so that I can invest the rest and enjoy residual income. And he sat back and he said, I've never heard anybody say the words residual income in a job interview before. And I remember being surprised about that because I thought, doesn't everybody want residual income? Isn't this the goal? Like, isn't this what we used to talk about when we'd make jokes about how we're going to put $1 million in the stock market and live off the dividends? Even with our limited knowledge and our middle class lifestyle, where our parents were working till they were 65 and putting away money in their stock account, we still knew that there was something better out there, even at that young age. And when coming back and hearing it called passive income rather than residual income was a little bit of a surprise to me, because passive now looks like a myth. Now it looks like a scam, whereas residual income makes more sense. It's like you do some work up front and then you're able to just enjoy the benefits of that income on the back end. The term passive income opens investors up to, honestly, a lot of scams. And one thing I see, especially now that we're living full-time in our RV, part of the RV community, and people really want to be like digital nomads, and they're trying to figure out how to make money as they travel full-time so they don't have to be locked to a particular location or a 9 to 5 in an office. They want remote work. And what comes up a lot when they find out, especially that we're living on passive income, they say, I need to generate some passive income so that I can afford this lifestyle and travel around. And so I start asking them about what kind of money they have to invest. And more often than not, they tell me, I don't have any money. And I think that passive income has really perpetuated this myth that you can earn income passively without investing money. So the definition of passive income, this is the most important thing that you're going to take away from this video, is instead of trading time for money, which is what active income is, passive income trades money for time. You have to have the money first. So the question at that point is not about how do I make passive income. The question becomes, how do I just make income, active income, more than I need to live so that I can invest the extra, and then the extra is what starts making money and it pays me. And until you get that figured out, this passive income thing is going to continue to lure you into scams like multi-level marketing e-commerce scams, where they continually upsell you and upsell you and upsell you, because they know that it takes money to make passive money, but they lure you in with this low cost of their e-com store startup, and then when that's not working, they sell you another product or service or something that they're going to tack on and add on. Or you get into something like wholesaling or fix and flipping, thinking that this is going to be passive income. It is not. Wholesaling, fixing, flipping, e-commerce, these are all businesses. There's a big difference between a business generating income and your money generating income. If you don't have any money to invest, that's fine. I'm not telling you that you can't enjoy passive income, but you need to figure out a way to generate the most income that you can for your skill set and the time that you have to spend. Now, in my case, the reason I decided to run a real estate business was because I knew we didn't have enough money that if we invested every dime of extra money that we had from selling a house, we didn't need all of that money to put on a down payment on our next house. So we had this little pile sitting there. And if I invested that at, say, 10% rate of return, which is pretty easy to get that return in real estate through a variety of different types of investing, that it still wouldn't be enough to replace my husband's income. At best, we were about halfway there. In order to generate more money so that we could invest and replace his income, I decided that I would spend a few years running an active real estate business. And that included buying up rentals and buying up multifamily projects with partnerships and syndications, and that I would be actively managing those properties, as well as raising capital from partners to buy those properties. Because I'm not a surgeon, I'm not an engineer, I'm not an attorney, I'm not a technical guy, I cannot put my skills into the marketplace in marketing, photography, graphic design, and go out and earn $150,000, $250,000 a year. And so I had to think, okay, what else can I do that can earn the most amount of money for my time spent? And the answer to that was a real estate business. And the answer to that might be the same for you. Real estate is probably the most money that somebody can make with the least amount of specialized skills. And that's why it's such an attractive business for most people. But do not make the mistake that a real estate business is going to be passive income. It is not. It is a way to generate the most income you can from your skills and time spent so that you can have extra to invest and then you live off that money passively. Again, passive income is trading money for time. Large chunks of cash are invested to create cash flow. But if we don't really understand how passive income is generated, it's going to continue to lure us down the path of scam after scam, or broken promises that this is going to be easy, this is going to be passive, and it turns out to be anything but. Even people sitting on a pile of money, which happens more often than you might think. People call me and they have an inheritance, or they had maybe a judgment or an insurance settlement, or they sold a house that they owned free and clear and they didn't need that money to buy their next house. They're sitting on bonuses, being paid well and living way below their means. And they're looking to turn this pile of money into a passive source of income, which is totally possible, but it's not going to happen fast and it's not going to happen overnight because there is a certain amount of work and learning up front that it takes to deploy that kind of capital into something that is going to earn you income in a safe way where you're not going to be falling prey to some of these schemes. And I'll give you an example. A woman called me recently. She was sitting on over $1 million because of a house that they'd sold and some bonuses that they'd been saving up. And she said she wanted to loan hard money to real estate investors. And so I asked her if she knew how to underwrite a house deal. Are you prepared to learn how to do that? And she said, no, I just want passive income. And I said, well, then hard money lending is not something you want to get into because that is a business, that is a job. And you need to be continually finding borrowers in order to keep your money moving. Hard money lenders hanging out at our real estate clubs, or they're sponsoring booths at conferences because they're on the hunt to find new borrowers all the time. So hard money lending is a business. Now, when the money is out and working, the results can be fairly passive while the loan is in process, but truly passive income really results from being able to do work up front where you place your money with somebody else who knows what they're doing. It's a security. It's just like the stock market. You put your money in with the expectation that the business will be run well and that you will make a return on your investment passively. That's what a security is, when you put in money expecting to make a return with no effort of your own. So dividend paying stocks, real estate, things that you are going to be putting your capital into, like a tech startup, those are the only real sources of truly passive income. And one of the reasons that real estate is such an attractive passive investment is it will yield cash flow during the life of the investment before you sell it, before you refinance it and take cash out. If you can find a good deal that actually cash flows along the way, that's what really sets real estate apart from other investments, where you put your money in and you're just waiting till the end when you sell the shares or when the business sells. Real estate has more opportunities to draw cash out in the form of profits from rents, but the business owners of the laundromat or the car wash or the rental house or the apartment building, they're the ones putting in the work to generate the profits to share with their passive investors. And one other form of passive investing that I have to mention here is the tax savings that you get by owning a business or owning a piece of real estate or owning any property that depreciates. And the reason that real estate is so good at the depreciation is because it's large buildings that need a lot of maintenance. Those phantom losses, as we call them, depreciation on your taxes, lower your taxable income because the profits that you pull in from the rents are offset by the depreciation from the building that needs to be repaired over time. So you end up looking like you made a lot less money than you actually did, and sometimes it looks like you even lost money, which is a huge tax savings. We'll do another video on tax savings because there's a lot of detail there and I'm no expert, but just to say that having those tax savings for me is another form of passive income, because not only are we not paying taxes, but oftentimes we get a large refund. And some years it's large enough that we have enough that we can put a down payment on a new property or invest that money into a new project. So if you're looking for passive income, it's really important to separate the difference between a business and a passive investment, not to get sucked into the romance and the mystery of it, and recognize that you are investing money in order to make a profit through no effort of your own to actually run the business that is generating the profit that's coming back to you. If you want to run a business like I do, by all means, go and do it. We're still running a business with our private fund where we're raising capital for deals. That's considered active income. We can continue to grow our cash flow because passive income doesn't happen all at once. It takes time to get money placed in those investments, and it takes time for those investments to start bringing that income back to you. And once you understand the way that this cycle works, you're going to be much more successful in your investing efforts and actually achieve the dream of passive income. Because if you don't understand it, you'll continue to fall prey to a lot of the scams and myths out there, and you'll probably believe that this isn't a real thing, and you'll give up really before you're able to hit that critical mass. That if you're highly focused on it and you're moving in the right direction, you can retire on your passive income in somewhere around 5 to 10 years. And if you keep that in mind, that focus and that driving forward, you'll be able to reach that dream and then tell other people how you did it.